Who's actually going to get the most out of a Bose Lifestyle 535 Series 3 home entertainment system? Who can afford the price tag without feeling a pinch, and who should walk away before they spend a weekend setting up a system that might never fit their living space? If you're on the fence about whether the sleek Jewel Cube speakers and the promise of dynamic surround sound are worth the investment for everyday movie nights and music streaming, stick around. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with the biggest hesitation most buyers have: the setup. Bose markets the Lifestyle 535 as a plug-and-play solution, but the reality is a bit more nuanced. The system arrives with a central console, a pair of jewel-shaped satellite speakers, a center channel, a subwoofer, and a rear surround pair. All of those pieces are small and look great on a modern couch, yet you still need to find a spot for the subwoofer that can handle low-frequency rumble without making the whole floor vibrate. In my own test apartment, placing the sub in the corner of the living room gave the expected punch during action scenes, but it also caused a slight echo that was noticeable when the volume was turned up for music. If you have a carpeted floor or a room with a lot of soft furnishings, that echo will be less of an issue. In contrast, a bare tile floor can amplify the sub's vibrations, making it feel less refined. The next question is connectivity. Bose promises you can connect up to 6 HD video and music sources, and the console indeed has HDMI inputs, optical, and a few analog options. The real convenience, however, comes from the wireless streaming capabilities. The system supports Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, letting you pull music from Spotify, Apple Music, or any internet radio station without a separate receiver. In practice, the Wi-Fi connection is stable for most streaming services, but I did notice a tiny delay when switching from a Bluetooth phone source to a wired HDMI source. It's not a deal breaker, but if you're the type who flips between a TV soundtrack and a phone playlist every few minutes, you'll notice the transition time. Now, who should actually consider buying this? If you're a movie enthusiast who enjoys occasional blockbusters and wants a clean, minimalist look without the bulk of traditional floor-standing speakers, the Lifestyle 535 fits nicely. The Jewel Cube speakers are small enough to sit on a bookshelf or a side table, yet they manage to produce a surprisingly wide soundstage. I tried watching a dialogue-heavy drama, and the center channel kept speech clear while the rear speakers added a sense of space without overwhelming the room. The automatic room calibration Bose ADAPTQ listens to your room and tweaks the output. In a standard 12 by 18 foot living room, the calibration gave me balanced highs and mids, but the bass still felt a touch tight compared to a dedicated home theater sub you'd find in a higher-priced setup. If you're a casual listener who mainly streams music while cooking or working from home, you might find the system overkill. The same Bluetooth streaming you could get from a pair of decent bookshelf speakers or a soundbar will work fine with the Lifestyle 535, but you're paying a premium for a surround sound experience you'll rarely use. Also, the system doesn't include a built-in voice assistant, so if you rely on hands-free control for music, you'll need an external device like an Amazon Echo or Google Nest to issue commands. Let's talk about practical strengths. First, the aesthetic. The black finish and the Jewel Cube design blend into contemporary core far better than the bulky towers you see in older home theater rigs. Second, the all-in-one nature means you don't have to hunt for a separate AV receiver. The central console handles switching inputs and controlling volume. Third, the built-in Wi-Fi streaming makes it easy to create a multi-room audio experience if you already own other Bose products, as they can be grouped via the Bose Music app. On the flip side, practical weaknesses are worth noting. The system's maximum output is adequate for medium-sized rooms but can feel underpowered in larger spaces or open-plan apartments where sound has to travel further. The subwoofer, while compact, doesn't deliver the deep, room-shaking low-end that dedicated home theater subwoofers provide. If you're a fan of high-octane action movies and want that visceral bass, you'll probably need to add a larger sub, which adds cost and complexity. Another hidden trade-off is the remote. The included remote controls both volume and source selection, but the button layout isn't intuitive for someone used to a traditional TV remote. There's a learning curve that can be frustrating in the first few weeks. A real-world scenario might help illustrate the decision. Imagine you host a weekly game night with friends, and you want the sound to fill the room without needing extra cables or a tech-savvy friend to manage the system. The Lifestyle 535's automatic calibration and easy source switching would let you start a movie, then seamlessly switch to a music playlist, all with a few button presses. The sleek speakers.